Splattered sleeves and coastal light, a pixelated neon morning. 2 decades and a half of fire, the canvas waits, the world is quiet. Beyond the trade and paper chase, we find the ink, the hidden lines. Sun and moon are lost across the face of icons etched in silver shine.
Welcome back. It's episode 2 of Poke Artiste Critique, or Poke Artiste Critique, if you want to pronounce it in different ways. I am coming back because on my first video that I recorded on February 27th to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Pokemon, I showed you Happy Birthday Pikachu card. That is a classic that cannot be passed up along and never seen under a 4K microscope like I'm about to attempt in a few moments. But I wanted to give you some tidbits, some history behind this for anyone who's just hopping on, any newcomers to Pokemon, any newer generation, younger generation, like children, anybody who is kind of delving into the new anime that's kind of phased out of Ash Ketchum, anyone who's been here and part of the entire Pokemon TCG process, but really hasn't delved down the history or tidbits of some of these cards or really researched anything behind the artists of these cards. This is my first foray. I am trying a new podcast. I'm trying something different. I'm trying something fresh that I'm hoping that many of you will subscribe to and also enjoy in the long run. But to continue, Pokemon Happy Birthday Pikachu card is one of the most popular cards that we've had for the past 30 years, period. The card originally came out in 2000 under Wizards of the Coast, also known as the company that makes Magic the Gathering. It came out as a Black Star promo at that time. And to the far left of what you see here, that's the original 1998 Japanese promo, White Star second anniversary card that came out. That is 2 years before the 2000 promo that you see right here of Birthday Pikachu. It was released in 2000 as well by Wizards of the Coast through a contest. You draw a Pokemon, you send it in by mail to them, and I guess the first maybe few thousand or first determined number of people that finally mailed in received back a Happy Birthday Pikachu card as a reward. This card is extremely rare on the English side. Basically, they kind of re-released it in 2021. So 2021 kind of drops us the Celebrations Collection, Classic Collections subset with the Happy Birthday Pikachu card. Kind of floods the market with more of these Happy Birthday Pikachu cards, but they are just as valuable and fun to collect as the original Wizards of the Coast. And of course, you see right here on the screen, we have the 2021 Japanese version as well, which is beautiful within its own right. So they go and release the 2021 versions where there's a physical difference between them. The 2021 Japanese version is, more like a standard card in general, but it's given foil along the outer rim of the edge of the card and behind Pikachu, which looks fantastic and beautiful, almost looks like fireworks kind of exploding in the sky. Then this version right here gives the entire face of the card, and I prefer this version because I love the way it looks and I love the way it feels. This version has a wavy fingerprintish type of design going on within it. And then that wavy fingerprintish finish is along the entire card, along the entire background foil that you see there. And in the coming moments, we're going to kind of deep dive into what we're seeing at a more super close-up level of what this card looks like. And I think that version is so awesome, and it feels good in the hands. It's stiffer, it's stronger. It looks like it can hold up against shuffling within with it being sleeved within someone's card deck in competition. We go on to another subject about its use in competition as well. This card was banned for legal tournament play just because the nature of the card. It's got to be written on too. The stipulation is you can do an extra 50 damage on top of the 30 that's there, so as long as it's your birthday. Who in God's name in tournament rules is going to verify the birthdays of numerous amounts of adults and underage kids? Just trying to get the birthdays of numerous kids out of Pokemon tournament play in the late 90s before the advent of the internet and all this privacy laws was a headache anyway, and people were very careful about trying to do any of that. As far as any other tidbits I've been able to find, I can jump into the onto the price ranges. An ungraded Wizards of the Coast version from 2000 is running about $255, maybe a little bit less at the lowest. But a graded Wizards of the Coast version is running anywhere between, from what I've seen, $10,000 to as much as $15,000 at a PSA 10 level. PSA 10 level's got to be near mint and without any writing on the card. So even if you have a card that has your name on it, but you pristinely cared for it, you send it into PSA or CGC or any of these card grading companies, they're going to deem it as damaged and bring it down to a 1 or a 2, or probably just say, yeah, it's ungradable at this point. When we come down to the ungraded Japanese celebrations card, we're looking at 170 something dollars starting to as much as a PSA 10 level Japanese graded being at maybe $2,000 plus. When we come down to the ungraded celebrations version, which is one right here to the far right, it's starting at $30 and going as high as $275 plus, maybe 270, 275 plus for a PSA 10 level graded card. Game Freak, Pokemon TCGI, and Nintendo would have never expected that their cards would have gone to $1,000, multi-$1,000 prices almost 30 years later anyway. I was trying to find something about the cardboard stock, if I could. It's mostly proprietary in nature. I don't think I can find too much. But an anecdote that I did find was that it was the 2021 version, at least, that we're going to review, is printed on what they call 1.1.1, 1.1.9 Pokemon TCG stock, approximately 3 millimeters to 4 millimeters thick. Once again, it is noticeably thicker because of that wavy fingerprint texture. The vintage version that you see right here doesn't have that wavy texture anyway. The 2021 version has a confetti foil on the background of Pikachu with an anniversary stamp that's kind of foiled on the 2 and 5 as well. As far as the artist's name is Kagemaru Himeno. She's a female manga artist in general, and her artwork primarily focuses, and this is according to Murkrow's Revenge on Reddit, the artwork primarily focuses on use of watercolor with bright and vibrant colors and patterns using heavy contrast to impart deep shadows and depth. When you go back and you look at her older sets of cards, starting from the Jungle set, and you start looking at them all the way to the current set that she's worked on, which was called Perfect Order, you could see that kind of like watercolorish interpretation in her art. You can definitely see it here on the 2000 version. It's right there. It's beautiful. It's different. It's unique in its own way, and it's a classic in so many people's eyes. The Art of Pokemon site is clocking in her total artwork at almost 756 different cards for now. And I'm looking at Art of Pokemon. Someone quote me. Someone comment on the comment section below whether that's true or not, or whether maybe way more or way less. From her artwork, one of the ones that caught my eye were from the Shiny Treasures and Paldean Fates sets. I've loved the shinies that folks have to try and collect towards the end of those sets that look absolutely beautiful. And I think she's got about 3 or 4 cards that she's made there that are shinies that kind of show you that watercolorish element. They look great. They look fantastic. They're very similar to the other shinies, but I just love that artwork in general. I'm currently even trying and finish a Shiny Treasures full set, which is probably going to take me years, just based on the cost of these cards, bit by bit. So, folks, what we are going to do is just get into this. We're going to start checking out Happy Birthday Pikachu at a more detailed level with our 4K microscope that I've got, and kind of enjoy the ride and see what happens here, what we see at the very fine close-up level. I hope that everyone ends up enjoying it, learning something, and learning maybe how to inspect their cards in a more detailed fashion. Hopefully it helps you determine whether some of your cards are worth sending or not. I'm hoping that we make waves and we inspire other people to start also appreciating art at this type of level and with this type of finesse. And here we go, guys. Here is Happy Birthday Pikachu under a 4K microscope. Folks, I'm going to be kind of looking at this card from different angles. We're going to look at it from a face down general value based on the naked eye. I'm using black gloves to kind of pull the card out of its penny sleeve and try to care for it and keep from putting too much gunk and more fingerprints on it. This card that I have is in pretty much okay condition. As far as I can tell, the colors are fine. There's no bleed outs from coloration into and out of the borders. There's no bleed outs from the 25th anniversary emblem. From what I can see, there's no bleed outs from the artwork section where Pikachu and holofoil kind of shine the most. Fingerprintish waviness that I can tell on this card. Doesn't seem to be damaged or divoted in any way, shape, or form by pens, pencil, or markers. There's no marks on here. From a face value, the card looks a little bit, maybe a teeny bit left heavy. It's probably not centered the way I need it to be for me to send it off. It may pass, may get a 50 or 60. I think the other good levels like 60-40, but one of those. From a face value, for now, it's still standing at 5 stars. So let's get in there and really start looking at the card edges, the card border edges, looking at it face down. We're not going to be looking at it this way yet, or edge down. I got to say, this is still a great looking card in general. There's no lift up on the edges on the top side right around here. None at all. No lift up running along this edge. As far as I can tell, nothing else. Look at this. The card's in this border edge is in pristine condition. No fraying, no white frays at all. Everything looks pretty much fine. We can get closer. Definitely we can get closer. This card can be sent out from face value. Sent out to PSA, CGC, or any card grading company that you choose, and probably won't get dinged for any damage. If it does detect any damage, I don't know what kind of algorithms they may be using. I've heard some of them are using AI to kind of get this done. And if AI is taking what would be these small wavy variations and what the card looks like right here, those wavy prints, and mistakenly considering it damage, I would not be happy if I'm getting a low value for this card. I wouldn't be happy if I was landing a 5 on this card, because there's just no way. We're looking at it on a 5K on a 4K microscope, and look, the printouts are fine. I look at this. I didn't even realize this detail before. I didn't even know they had they ended up giving a circular wavy pattern on top of the energy markers themselves. I mean, I'm looking at the border. I'm looking at the 25th anniversary stamp. The stamp looks great. This the mouse Pokemon link titling here. Everything seems fine. Nothing seems to be out of place. The promo marker is fine as well. Let's see the wording. Happy birthday, surprise. If it is your birthday, this attack does 30 damage. If it is your birthday, flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 30 plus 30 damage plus 50 more damage. If tails, this attack does 30 damage. And there doesn't seem to be any damage or issues along the wording. Retreat cost. Even the retreat cost is 1 colorless energy, and it's got a spiral fingerprintish design there. Listen, guys, this looks awesome. I like this little detail. I didn't even realize that at eye level, but we're only seeing this right now at a 4K microscope level. Seeing this fingerprintish design, it kind of runs through the card along the card edges. It kind of frays out and gets rougher towards the yellowish areas, almost fingerprintish, and then it starts reclaiming its fingerprintish design from the mouse Pokemon banner all the way up towards the general top of the card. Yeah, the fingerprintish design kind of maintains itself. It tries to maintain itself within this border of the Pokemon artwork and within the external yellow border, but between it, it's trying to fray out in a way. It's like a frayed fingerprint. But let's take a look at the artwork itself. Let's take a look at how this looks. I'm liking this. I am really liking this detail, the effort here. What Pokemon TCGI ended up doing here. So as we look at the background's got counter fingerprint markings going all over the place to kind of represent the confetti holofoil. But then when you look at when you look at the birthday cake and a little bit lower, it starts to get fingerprintish towards that purplish area right there. The table has one direction of fingerprintish design. Then this section of this table kind of goes semicirclish. Then the cake platter is going almost like a vertical fingerprint. Then the cake body itself in yellow is going semicirclish. And then the icing body of the artwork is going a downward semicircle direction. The strawberries are going on a horizontal fingerprintish design. Then the candles themselves, the candle wax, is going on a kind of horizontal as well pattern. But for the fire, they gave it the frayed out design that you see that's evident along the yellow areas and the rest of the body of the card. Pikachu is given a semicircular design along his whole entire body, which looks awesome. Crisscross kind of whichever way pattern of these fingerprints kind of continues along the background confetti hollow foil area. The stamp contains almost like a semicircular design as well, but they flattened out the tips of the Pichu ears or Pikachu ears and gave it a more flatter black. Hollow foil on the 2 and the 5. I want to see if the 2 and the 5 maintained a fingerprintish design, or did they end up giving it a flatter hollow foil? Let's see. So yeah, it's looking like they gave it a flatter hollow foil design. It almost seems like the printing process wanted to try and put a little bit of the fingerprint over it. Face value looks great. Color value, there's no bleed outs coming out of the border of the painting, in or out. It looks great. The line where you would write your name on John or Andrews or JJ's or whatever your name is, Pikachu, is pretty aligned. Even down to this corner area, there's a definite, color difference even down to that corner. Color difference down to that corner, no bleed outs, nothing. I mean, this card has been done perfectly well from manufacturing for now. The energy, these fingerprint spirals and the energy markers seem to be well aligned. This corner's well done from an eye view. You can't really tell whether this corner kind of bleeds in or bleeds out, but it's as best as we're going to get to determining that there's a clear separation in color, and it kind of runs across the entire side. So from this level, this card is a perfect 5 stars for me. So it's going to get 5 stars from that angle. But let's get in even closer to see what we can see at the real nitty gritty of the print matrix. I want to show everybody how this looks. Look at Pikachu's color. So the print matrix is there. Those black micro marks are like the in-betweens between the print matrix. I'm going to try and flash a light from my phone to see if we see any further effects from the hollow foil. I had to take out something here that was keeping me from seeing at a much closer level. Wow, there we go. There's the print matrix right there, guys. Yeah, there's the hollow foil in the back. Let me see if I can bring down the lighting to let the phone's lighting kind of do the work and making the hollow foil kind of shine. So there seems to be, even across the body of the yellow of Pikachu and even across the entire painting of this. Let me see if we can move it up and see. There's the hollow foil pattern and the light areas of color that were splotched in along the artwork to kind of allow some hollow foil effects to come through. It almost seems like it's a layer that's kind of put on top of the hollow foil. I don't know if it's mixed or pressed together, or if I'd love to know how Pokemon TCGI does this at a microscopic level. This looks cool. This looks like we're looking at a fingerprint or cells here. This micro glinting cannot be seen with the naked eye because the yellow colors, the brighter colors, they kind of overshadow this micro glinting that you see. See if it's in the body. Yep, it's as far down as even inside the body of the more yellowish parts where the attack description is being sold. Look, it's even there. When you hold this card up in front of your face, you can keep tilting and changing it, but you won't get this micro glint like we're seeing at a 4K microscope level. You're only going to get this, the general shine from this background, and whatever little bits of shine that may come through from whatever's from the base hollow foil that's at the bottom of the color. But that's pretty cool. I didn't even realize that. I've never seen that, to be honest with you. And it's almost like you look at Pikachu, it's almost like he's got pores. Sadly, that's not a texture that they're trying to show to us Pokemon card collectors, and it's not something that we're trying to feel. The only thing that they gave us texture and feel was the wavy fingerprint design that they've kind of plastered over the card. And yeah, that seems to be the spaces between the print matrix and the marks that they kind of stop and go on. From a face value at the print matrix, now that we've really looked at it and seen that there's even micro glinting, I thought the micro glinting carries it over a little bit. I think that's awesome. It's awesome to know that's there deep down. If we want to really, really look at it like we're doing on a 4K microscope, that gets a solid 5 for me. We're going to go off, now we're going to turn it around and start looking at it from the back. Print matrix is there, but let's bring this back because we're not looking at the print matrix yet. We're looking at the face value of what this card looks like. From what I can tell you, folks, there is a very light scratch on the top left-hand corner that cannot be noted. Yeah, but it seems to be a very light scratch on the back of the card. Very, very light. It's almost like paint related. It's extremely light. This is not something that's going to be noticed on. It's not going to be noticed quite well on the naked eye. I think I got it. It's like a small micro divot that you see right there. I'm not sure if this was caused by the board. I don't think it's caused by the board here. I think this is the way that the card came out. But yeah, this is about the best damage that I can see with the naked eye, depending on the angle that I have light shining at it. Yeah, guys, that's about it. Anywhere else on this card, face value, card looks fantastic. Any specks of dust I've just taken out with the black glove that I'm using. Yeah, there's nothing really wrong here. On my 1 to 5 star rating, the back top down from a face value, I've got to say we can keep it at a solid 3.8 stars. The micro divot will definitely ding it if it was sent off to a grading service, but from what I'm looking at, this could just be passed and looked over. And if they were to grade it without even considering that micro divot, I would have said that this card lands maybe for now a solid 7.5 at a grading scale. And that's until we start looking at the card edges. If the card edges come out fine on the card, now we're talking something different. That brings up those numbers. From a close-up level, let's start looking at the print matrix. Let's start looking at the colors and whether there's any bleed outs, whether anything's happening here that's too crazy to start knocking it down even more. There's the micro divot that you see very lightly. Maybe that one right above that micro divot, maybe another one, but it may be a smudge that I can try and clean off with a solution I use on these cards. I'm not going to share what I do at all as far as what I use to clean the back of the cards. In general, it's got fingerprintiness, oils that are left over that you can't see here, but can be cleaned off to make the card look better. So I won't knock it down any further on my star point scale. But even here, you're starting to begin to see the print matrix, and it's pretty much well done. The TM, the Pokemon title looks fine. It looks printed well. There's no issues. There's no bleed outs running from the darker blue border, crossing over to the lighter side of the blue within the artwork of the Pokemon titling. Nothing here. Let's see the other side, upside down. Yeah. And don't worry, guys, I'm lightly passing this. I'm not putting pressure on the face of the card. Plus that fingerprintish design can pretty much resist even scratches, I'd say, because it's pretty thick. But this looks pretty good. Print matrix style. No damage, no errors as far as I can tell. And like I said, to recap, any dirt that you see here is pretty much cleanable with a microfiber cloth and whatever solutions you feel like using on your end to kind of clean the back of this card. It's the typical time dulling that the back of the card always gets. This is a 5-year-old card, so it's been kept in pretty much in good condition. And then the print matrix on the back seems to be good. We're keeping that at a 5-star level, which that is awesome. Now we turn it over. We are going to zoom out. We're going to focus a good view on the artwork itself. Here is our big guy. Happy birthday, Pikachu. We're going to start off with the cameo standpoint. For years, we've known that the anime and the world building in its manga, in its anime, talk about friendship, traveling together, enjoying your time with your friends, and meeting and greeting and battling newer and newer Pokemon as time goes on. From a cameo standpoint, there are no other Pokemon. There is no other world building here on this card. Miss Himeno chose to simply draw a partial version of the table of a present, a cake, and Pikachu gleefully about to blow the candles on the cake, or if you want to reverse this, he may be presenting the cake to someone or another Pokemon or friend and happily joining in the party. Problem is, we can't determine any more further world building behind this because it's just Happy Birthday Pikachu, or the title says Andrew's Pikachu, which would infer that the artwork is my Pikachu, I'm celebrating its birthday. Miss Himeno failed, and not in a bad way, failed to add more world building behind that hollow foil background, in which she could have added other Pokemon who are celebrating. She could have added the other starters, such as Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle, kind of helping to celebrate. Or draw a background where they're celebrating in a backyard, no different than most families would do for a child's birthday or a dog's birthday, kind of celebrate in their own backyard. The issue is because the card's original art is almost 30 years old, guys. It's 30 years old. If we count in 98, 28 years old, my math's off. I'm just saying it real quick. Celebrating the 2nd year anniversary as a White Star promo in Japan in 1998. At that time, and for that card's artwork, it's sufficient. In year 2 of Pokemon, we hadn't even gotten through tons of episodes like we've done for the past 30 years in the anime. This was it. This was as elaborate as you were going to get probably in that time, along with the base set hollows and along with any slight push in artwork that any other artists were trying to do. So the cameo world building, if I have to give it a score, is at a 1. But because the time was different, it was a different era back then. It was 28 years ago when we were all kids and just beginning to see this franchise grow. We cannot count it. The cameo world building is nullified on this artwork that we are kind of going through. From an artwork standpoint, Miss Himeno did something fantastic here. Look at this. A cake celebrating Pikachu's birthday. Pikachu happy. It's what we knew. It's what we saw. It's what we saw in the anime as we saw it growing up. Pikachu was always happy to be with its partner, with its trainer, who had to go through the ups and downs with Ash Ketchum before she finally calmed down and accepted and embraced Ash. We're seeing this general overarching theme of friendship showing in this card that most people were seeing in the anime, that most people were being forced to kind of embrace as they played the Game Boy games, as they played Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver. That was what they wanted us to feel. Exactly what was being portrayed in the artwork here. Miss Himeno did fantastically there. There was nothing else that needed to be done. And that receives a 5 stars from me. Miss Himeno's artwork stands as one of the greatest to ever have been made from a simplistic standpoint for the time that she made it. Miss Himeno, my hat's off to you for that. My hat's off for this fantastic card that people still love collecting and still love collecting the 2021 versions for. The 25th anniversary stamp adds to it. And then the fingerprint waviness across the entire face of the card sends it over the roof too, which squarely lands it at a 5 for me if I need to count everything in general, including the intent of the hollow foil and the patterning that's embossed, that's emblazoned over the entire card. It's a 5 for me, guys. And I hope that we can come to a point later on in the future that we see more cards made like this with blanks for us to fill out and use the cards. So let's continue. We've got one more thing to do. We're going to be looking at this puppy from a cardage perspective as well. We want to determine if this card that I have in my possession is cared for by me, or when I received it, that the cardage continues to look good. Now we're back here to the microscope. We are looking at the cardage. This is not going to be easy, but let's see how far in we can get. At face value, anything's going on, and I'm checking face value right now, just twisting, checking. There doesn't seem to be any white lift ups or white nicks. All right, we're getting in closer, guys. This is different territory. Wow, okay. Seems to be like 3 layers. Yep, there's a card nick. Very light card nick. That's something, listen, not seen with the naked eye. Not realized with the naked eye until you get close, man. Yep, slight card nick. There we go. The card, this is a card that I did get, sadly, has a white nick on it, which will bring it down on grading. For the most part, the card edge is great. It's not messed up. No nicks. Flat. That corner's flat too. No nicks there. I'm going to try and keep it extremely still because this is not easy. Now to keep it still for you guys. Run it across. So this is pretty cool. It seems like there's like almost 3 layers. There's a blue layer, a sandwich, the sandwich cardboard layer in between, almost like an Oreo, and then the yellowish top layer where the printout on the front and the hollow foil goes. But I can't determine what's what. So I'm hoping that one day I can get a Pokemon TCGI creator and kind of show him a video of what I was looking at here and say, what is going on here? Is the blue tint its own layer? Is it printed in heavily and deeply to almost seem like it's a third layer? And is the cardboard stock the entire thing from the top layer all the way to the bottom, or are things sandwiched in here? Look at that. Just look at these microscopic little flaky bits. I wonder if that's the card. No, that's dust. That was dust. That's the top side. That's the bottom side. Sorry. Bottom side we're looking at if you're just joining us. I'm trying to keep it from shaking, guys. I'm sorry. There's slight damage, but you don't see that on the card when I'm looking at it at eye level. That's not seen. Guys, this is not seen at eye level. What you're seeing there, not seen at all. And I don't know if that's even counted, but that's still in great condition. The right-hand side of the card now, still in great condition. Fix it up a little bit more. Let's get a little bit closer. Yeah. Yeah, that right-hand side looks great. Yeah, corner too. And now the top side. There we go. Removing my finger helps remove some extra glare. I didn't know my fingers were like the sun. Trying to keep it still for you guys. Let's do it again, nice and slowly. Yeah, this card for the most part was cut pretty perfectly, minus that damage, that white nick, that micro nick. We've got to be patient, very patient with this. 2 micro nicks on the top side. Not visible, but they seem to be I got to put them at maybe the way they were cut, because I don't think this is not something I created. Yeah, but this is not perceptible to the naked eye. At an edge down standpoint, I can give this card probably a 4.5. 4.5 stars. Looking at this card and taking into account the overall score that I've tried to give it. Now, once again, keep in mind, this isn't a professional score. This is a score that I'm doing offhand, that I'm trying to think about as logically as possible. I've ran this through and thought about it. I averaged it out. And this card that I have in my possession lands squarely at a 4.7 stars overall. What this shows to me is that if I send this card out to PSA, CGC, or my favorite guys that I'm dealing with right now, Crown Collectibles Grading, I'm probably going to land anywhere between an 8 and a 9.5 for the card. And if I have to be ultra conservative by how that card looks, it may squarely fit at like a 7.8, maybe a flat 8. Guys, I hope that we ended up having a good time here. I ended up giving you and showing you new angles of how to appreciate artwork and how to appreciate things from a different standpoint. Once again, to recap, we were reviewing the 2021 Celebrations Classic Collection Happy Birthday Pikachu to the far right here. And I hope that any of you go out there and you go find your gem mint 10s, that you find your CGC pristine 10s, or like I'm dealing with Crown Collectibles grading their immaculate 10s, as they call them. I hope that you guys keep finding those cards and you keep finding those gems, and that you sit down, you take the time to appreciate it, and enjoy the franchise for how long it's been around. Guys, thank you for joining. Thank you for being with me here. Thank you for giving me support and being by my side for now. Tons of love to everybody. Stay safe. Stay out of problems. Treat your fellow human beings with respect and show love to the world. Keep passing on good vibes, even through this collecting phase that we have, even through this love of video games that we have. Keep sharing that on, folks. Keep being good people. Take it easy. Have a good night.